Bonjour, Rich. How are you doing today?
Very good. Thank you for the invite.
No problem. So do not worry. This interview won't be in French. Je vais pas parler français. Tu veux peut-être?
I'm not English, so it's going to be in American for me.
That will do. I mean, with me. I mean, I'll try to match. I mean, your level of expectation. It's hard from a Frenchman, but I will try. So thank you for your time again. We're at PAY360. It's almost the end of the day, so people are leaving. So it's live. You can hear. So what did you think of the day so far?
Absolutely fantastic. I've been part of the Emerging Payments Association for well over 10 years, and they've gone from strength to strength. And this event just shows it again. They've upped it again in terms of level. The quality of the speakers have been fantastic. And I mentioned to the coordinator, I thought and I don't know about this particular audiovisual, the audiovisual and the content of the audiovisual better than I've ever seen, not just at the EPA, but at any event. And some of the really high-end events like Money 2020, I would put this equal, if not better in some respects. On a smaller scale, but that intimacy is really something that I was very impressed with today.
Well, that's interesting. So congratulations to the PAY360 team, obviously, and the EPA team. Any particular reason for that? Are they coaching their speakers then to come up with the best possible graphics and AV, and or you just the quality of the organization here? You mean?
Well, the
quality,
it was very sleek. The EPA's got some great people on the team. I was fortunate enough to be the chair of the EPA for about 3 years, and so certainly I feel like it was my little child growing up now. I've moved on, and it's gone from strength to strength, and the team around the conference organization has been fantastic, and I think they really learn from other places to make something different in payments, because payment conferences can be quite the same, and I think creating that a little bit of differentiation, they've done a really good job at it.
Yes, I totally agree. I studied here in London in payments 17 years ago, and that was a totally different world. So let's talk about changes, because payments have been disrupted dramatically in the last 5, even more years. Of course, PSD2, open banking, everything is changed. Payments can become commoditized almost, and the differentiation will be at the interface layer, at the app layer. So what's your view on that again?
Well, I think open banking is quite an interesting marketing phenomenon that's come out. I think it is a benefit. It's going to transform the industry, but my view is I'm a little bit more realistic about it. I always go about, I've been in the business for literally 30 years of my life, and it's a generation game. I worked on contactless payments about 20 years ago, and it took 20 years for it to be adopted in the way that we see it today. Open banking, in my view, will be the same thing. If you think about me, yes, I can authenticate Google or Amazon to have my passwords, or at least authenticate into my banking app. I'm not going to do that. I trust them to basically buy my groceries, to buy a DVD player, but I don't trust them actually right now with my banking and my financial requirements. Do my kids or my grandkids ultimately trust those types of non-banks to provide those services? Because they will provide them in a better user experience, but at the end of the day, my generation is going to trust their bank all the way until their life ends. So I think there is a evolution going to happen, not necessarily a revolution.
But that's a very good point, actually. We talk a lot about trust. It's all about trust, and banking still the most trusted industry, more than 75% trust. And you've got the tech companies that we're all using on a daily basis. Most people are not even aware that they're using it. We pay them, right? We give them our data, and that's that's a good amount of money for them in terms of generating the right experience and selling that data. So, but at the same time, we've got more and more outage. I mean, like a service being down, like Facebook. We've got data security, the data leaks. So, do you think that even the younger generation won't become a bit more wary of those social media giants?
Yeah, I think the interesting thing you said about the trust and the resilience of both the banking environments and the non-banking environments, we have seen some big flaws in some very big companies recently, and I think it's transformed quite a bit in the last 10 years. I mean, we've got, and when you think about payments, we've moved from an environment where 10 years ago, we moved payments over 3 days, the back system. So you put a payment in, the best you could do is get a payment to somebody else in 3 days. Today, we basically initiate a payment and it happens in nanoseconds. And that's a lot of pressure on a bank and an ecosystem and a legacy systems to be up 24/7. I used to work at banks, and we used to shut down on Saturday, and we could update our systems and put new servers in and put new disk drives in. In today's banking environments, I feel for the technology people because they can never sleep. Their systems have to be 24/7, and we're seeing the creaking of those systems, not allowing these infrastructures to be updated on a regular basis. And I think we've gone from one extreme to another around payments, and I do believe we need to set the customer's expectation to give them balance that, do you really need it in a nanosecond or would a half hour do? I want to protect your money, so let me do some validation checks on that money and make that happen for you.
And I think that's fascinating. Thank you for sharing your views, because I've got two comments to that. One is a very French one, not in French though.
Good.
It's like, it's hard when you give people something to take it back and then have it, like say, oh, you know what, you had that for whatever years, months, but then we have to take it back because you don't really need it, and we're gonna. I know in France it's a sore point. It's very difficult. And the second one, my dad, my father used to be an IT director in a small organization, but with a lot of data, and he's always like, when you talked about a poor bank, IT banking professionals who don't sleep too much, and when we meet with my dad, we think about Facebook or Google, and then we imagine those like 3, 4, 5, 10 full board pitches, worth of like storage,
Yes.
and we're like, who is in charge of? Or is that even remotely possible to again do exactly what you said? Like, anyway, it's just a bit of a joke, but it's incredible the amount of data we're dealing on daily basis, and the way they interlinked as well, because the beauty of a Facebook or Google, it's all about contextualization, making sense of that data, and in real time, providing searches, providing ads, providing, recommending people. And I think that's fascinating.
And I think it's, again, another generational thing, because I don't like it. I'm not on Facebook.
Fascinating, sorry. I don't use I'm on it, but I don't use it. But I think it's fascinating conceptually that they managed to do that with the data. Yes.
Yeah,
no,
exactly. But I think that personalization thing where, I go on to Google and search for something, and all of a sudden I search for a cruise, and it just happens the next day I'll get 5 pop-up boxes of other cruises. How do they know that? Why do they know that? I really don't want them to know that. And, I think I should have a little bit more control over that. And I know the Information Commissioner Office at ICO has put in these things where you have to push, accept. Well, if I don't press accept, I don't get to see the website. And so it's not choice. It's not real consumer choice. So I think there does need to be a little bit of halfway point where customers do get the choice of sharing their data or not, but at least give them access to all the websites regardless.
I know. It's a fascinating topic anyway,
Yeah.
yes. It's a sharing economy. Do brands or the tech giants really articulate the value of what we get versus the money they're making on our data? And I think that's another conversation for another time.
Yeah.
But Cashplus, can you
Yes.
please tell us more about that?
Yeah, well,
That rings a bell?
What's that?
That rings...
Rings a bell. Rings a
Yeah.
bell. Well, the funny thing is we sometimes have been considered the best kept secret in payments. We've been around for 14 years, 1.5 million customers, serving SMEs and consumers with banking propositions that really have, I think, evolutionized, not revolutionized, the banking environment. We were the first to basically come out with a product that actually allows people to rebuild their credit. And we really have gone from strength to strength, from being an e-money issuer, and we are just on the cusp of submitting our banking license to take advantage of giving more credit and more credit type propositions to the SMEs and consumers we serve. So,
What's your ETA for that? For
the banking license, we're hoping we've been working with the regulated community for about a year and a half. So it's been a long process. It always is, which I think is important. I don't criticize the regulator for that. I really don't. We look to submit hopefully sometime in the next couple months, and we certainly look to be licensed by
this side of Christmas.
This side of Christmas. Being back this side of Christmas. Yes.
Okay, that's interesting. You mentioned the commercial banking side as well, the SME side, right?
Yes.
which is always, I mean, I find it the most fascinating part of banking, if you ask me, on many levels. The complexity of knowing your customers, the complexity of reaching out, building a relationship at scale, and yet maintaining a good level of customer relationship management, which is very hard.
Yeah.
How challenging do you find that market for Cashplus then?
Yeah, I think it is really. I think you got to balance between the speed and ease and that relationship. They want to talk to somebody. We have a call center environment that is easy to get to. But I think the thing is, most SMEs, and we really service that small business, the startup, we have 7% market share of the startup community in the UK today. We service about 125,000 SMEs that are less than 5 employees. So it's not the Googles and Amazons of the world, it's your mom and pop guys that are really struggling with actually staying in business, and the last thing they care about is their banking facility. We'd love to see ourselves as front and center, but if we can make it easy and simple where they can forget about their banking, that's the end goal. And through our digital enablements, the ability to sign up for a product within 3 seconds, get approved and get your sort code and account number, all part of a journey integrated, and we've been doing it for 5 years, first to do it in the UK. That's what we really differentiate ourselves among the other challenger banks.
Wow. Well, that sounds exceptional, yeah. So time flies, so thank you so much for your time, Rich. I'm glad we managed to touch base. Yeah. And all the best again for the remainder of 2019. And please, let's do another video when you've got your banking license and you launch, a big celebration party. Please send us the invite if you still have the budget for that.
All right. Well, thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Take care.